Hello and welcome to episode number 6 of TEW 2016 here with WWE. We are finally going to get to 205 Live now, and without further ado, let's just get on with the show. 205 Live will kick off with Drake Maverick in the ring, and he'd say he has a big announcement for tonight's main event, and that would be that there'll be a fatal 5-way match between Mustafa Ali, Kalisto, Jack Gallagher, Drew Gulak and Hideo Itami, and the winner of that would be the one to face Cedric Alexander at the Greatest Royal Rumble for the Cruiserweight title next Saturday. And then before he can finish, Alicia Fox would come out and she'd be like, oh, you know, Noam Dar deserves an opportunity after making a statement and pinning Mustafa Ali last week. And Drake Maverick, he's not going to be like hesitant for too long. He's going to say, yeah, he does. I'm my bad. And he'll turn it into a fatal, a six-pack challenge, I think, yeah. And he can add Noam Dar to that match. It'll be Noam Dar, Mustafa Ali, Kalisto, Jack Gallagher, Drew Gulak, and Hideo Itami. And the winner of that will face Cedric Alexander at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Then there's a quick squash again for Fabian Eichner. He beats Ari Daivari in 7 minutes. Probably shorter than that, but 7 minutes is what I put it as. And they're actually going to be penalised because he's actually technically still a heel. I have got a face turn pending for him. I don't know if I'm actually going to go through with it because obviously I'm going to balance out and see what one he needs to be first. Really get him established before I decide if he's going to be a face or a heel. He's just sort of beating both at the moment. We come back. TJP back in his room after last week. After he's established his life as a new vlogger. And what does every great vlogger do? A house tour! So TJP takes you around his house, lets you see this is where I keep my NES Classic and my PS3 and all my other games, consoles I like to play. And he just takes you around his house showing off like all his super rich stuff. And he's like, oh, leave a like and subscribe and peace out, my dudes. Buddy Murphy again. Shown making weight because he's currently like too big, and he's shown again like last week training hard, and he's actually going to have his official weigh-in on 205 Live next week to see if he can make the cut to be in the Cruiserweight division. Lince Dorado, fresh off his heel turn last week, beats Tony Nese in another quick squash just to really get him established, because I need to establish Lince Dorado as a heel, which we will do here as well. Dasha obviously is the perfect person for this because, her being Hispanic as well, she would interview obviously in Spanish with Lince Dorado, but obviously ask the questions in English, then Spanish, and then he would reply in Spanish, and then she'd be able to translate for him. So basically, what he just gets to the grips at is from day one, everyone saw him as the third wheel of the Lucha House Party because Kalisto was the former United States champion. The former Cruiserweight champion, he was like the main roster guy, the established figurehead. And Grand Metalik, he was a finalist in the Cruiserweight Classic, and he was always pitched as like the next big thing on 205 Live. And Lince Dorado was always just kind of there, and he realised that fans had sort of outsed him from the get-go. He was like the weakest link, so he's just trying to step out of the shadow. He's like, I'm not the weakest link, I'm going to make my own legacy here. And he's going to beat, whether it be Grand Metalik, Kalisto, or whoever else gets in his way on his path to becoming the Cruiserweight champion. Just very basic premise, but it is also sort of kind of true. So you do kind of relate to him on that point. Just a quick pre-match interview with Cedric and Kathy Kelly. And she's talking about him. How do you feel about the six-pack challenge and who do you want to face at the Greatest Royal Rumble? Cedric says he'd love to wrestle Mustafa Ali again after WrestleMania because they had such a great match. He'd have an encore, but he also feels like he needs a chance to shut up Noam Dar and Drew Gulak and all them others. And he'd be welcome to a new challenge to wrestle, say Hideo Itami or someone like that. But we'll wait and see who wins that main event. And it's actually D-Mine is actually pretty decent for a 205 Live match. And yes, it's Noam Dar. He beats Hideo Itami, Jack Gallagher, Kalisto, Mustafa Ali, and Drew Gulak. And he pins Kalisto. Because Kalisto is sort of, at least how I view him, the most credible name in this division. Because obviously he did have the US title, blah blah blah, and all that. So pinning Kalisto really just show that you're trying to get someone over as a new threat. And this whole show gets a D minus, which doesn't really matter because it's 205. So now, obviously, I just had to quickly get this one out. I have been busy, obviously, watching the World Cup this last week. That's why I haven't really done many videos. But I'm going to try and get back into the swing of things. So I'll see you hopefully pretty soon for Raw.